The year is 1945. The world is taking a deep, shaky breath. World War II, the biggest and bloodiest war in history, has just ended. Cities lay in ruins. London, Berlin, Stalingrad, Tokyo, millions are dead. Soldiers are coming home, but they are not the same. They have seen things that will haunt them. The war changed everything. Changed countries, changed families, changed how people thought about fighting. The old ways were gone. A new era was beginning. During the war, soldiers used many kinds of guns. Long, heavy rifles, powerful but slow. Smaller submachine guns, many bullets, short range. Commanders and military thinkers saw a problem. They needed a weapon that could do both. Light enough for one soldier in forests and cities. Powerful enough at several hundred meters. Most importantly, simple and reliable. This was the great challenge for designers after the war. The man who would answer this call was not a famous scientist or a seasoned engineer. He was a young man named Mikhail Timofeyevich Kalashnikov. Born in a small village in Siberia in 1919, he was one of many children in a poor peasant family. His early life was filled with hardship. As a boy, he was fascinated with machines, taking apart clocks and anything with gears and springs. He was not a scholar, but he had a natural gift for understanding mechanics, levers, pins, and moving parts. His life took a dramatic turn when he was drafted into the Red Army in 1938. Trained as a tank mechanic and later a tank commander, his talent began to shine. He invented small devices to improve his tanks, including a counter to track shells fired. His superiors noticed. They saw a young sergeant who was thinking, creating, and improving the tools of war. The turning point came in 1941 during the brutal Battle of Bryansk. Kalashnikov's T-34 was hit. Severely wounded and sent to a hospital, he listened to fellow soldiers complain. Rifles too heavy, too long, and they often jammed. They admired German automatic weapons. A fire was lit inside him. He decided to design a new gun for the Soviet soldier. A gun that would be reliable, simple, and give them a fighting chance. From his hospital bed, with help from nurses and patients, he began to sketch, using his left hand. Driven by duty, and a desire to protect his comrades, not by glory or money, the wounded soldier embarked on a mission. This mission would change the world. The young tank sergeant from Siberia was about to create a legend. Mikhail Kalashnikov's design, which would become the AK-47, was not entirely new. It cleverly combined the best features from other guns. He studied the American M1 Garand and, most importantly, the German STG-44. But the revolution was its incredible simplicity and reliability. The STG-44 was great, but complicated and expensive, with many small parts that could break or get lost. Kalashnikov understood a soldier's rifle had to be tough. It had to be soldier-proof. The AK-47 was designed for practicality. One key: loose tolerances. Moving parts were not fitted perfectly. Small gaps let in dirt, sand, and mud, yet the gas piston and bolt carrier remained simple and forgiving. While precise rifles stopped when dirty, the AK-47 kept firing. You could drop it in the mud, bury it in sand, or even run it over with a truck, and it would likely still work. Perfect for the harsh conditions of modern warfare. It used a 7.62 by 39mm intermediate cartridge. Smaller and lighter than old rifle rounds, more powerful than pistol rounds. A perfect compromise. More ammo carried, manageable recoil, full auto with reasonable accuracy. Designed to be easy to produce and use, with stamped metal and tool-free field stripping. Reliability, effective firepower, simplicity. Together they made the Avtomat Kalashnikova Model 1947 a history-changing weapon. The journey from a drawing in a hospital to a standard-issue military rifle was not easy. After his initial designs, Kalashnikov was given a small team and a workshop to build a prototype. The Soviet Union held a competition. Many top gun designers competed. Kalashnikov was the underdog, young and without formal education. His first prototype, the AK-46, went to trials. It had problems and drew criticism. Faced with this setback, he didn't give up. He worked with cleverness and determination. He studied competitors' designs and listened closely to soldiers testing rifles. Back to the drawing board, he completely redesigned the rifle. Simpler, tougher, more reliable. He added a rotating bolt and simplified the receiver. The improved version entered brutal tests. Baked in ovens, frozen in ice, dragged through sand, submerged in swampy water, and dropped onto concrete. The goal? A weapon that would not fail. Others jammed and broke. Kalashnikov's rifle kept working. It passed with flying colors. In 1947 it was officially accepted as the Avtomat Kalashnikova 1947. AK-47. After 2 years of manufacturing fixes, it entered service in 1949. Born in a wounded sergeant's mind and forged through grueling trials, the Soviet Union had its people's rifle, a weapon for the Cold War. For the first few years, the AK-47 was a state secret. The Soviet Union kept the weapon hidden, issuing it only to elite units. In the 1950s, that changed. The Cold War was heating up. To spread influence and back communist movements, the USSR shipped weapons. The AK-47 was perfect, cheap to make, easy to use, incredibly effective. Crates of Kalashnikovs went to Eastern Europe, China, North Korea and North Vietnam. In Vietnam, the AK-47 made its name. The M16 was sophisticated and accurate, but early versions jammed in wet, muddy jungle. The AK-47 worked reliably. American troops developed a grudging respect for the enemy's weapon. Its popping sound became a terrifying, familiar part of the war. The USSR exported not just rifles but the ability to make them, designs and factory tools. China, Poland, Hungary and many others began producing their own. Production exploded. China alone made millions of Type 56S, supplying revolutionary groups across Asia and Africa. Simple and mass-produced, the AK-47 became cheap and common on black markets. After 1991, Soviet stockpiles flooded the world. The AK became the weapon of choice for insurgents, terrorists, child soldiers and criminals. A small group could gain huge power with this rifle. From South American jungles to Middle Eastern deserts to African plains, the AK-47 silhouette became a universal symbol of conflict and rebellion. The sheer number is astonishing. Over 100 million Kalashnikov rifles have been produced worldwide, the most common firearm ever made. Made in more than 30 countries, from Russia's factories to Pakistan's workshops, enabled by simple, robust design. Stories abound of rifles found decades later in mud or caves, cleaned and fired without issue. US tests in Vietnam submerged rifles and packed barrels with mud. They still fired, clearing the obstruction. The AK-47 image is so powerful it appears on national symbols, Mozambique's flag, Zimbabwe's coat of arms, and in organizational emblems. Despite its fame, Kalashnikov did not become rich. Working for the Soviet state, he received no royalties. He lived modestly, though honored many times. In later years, he felt pride in service to his country, but sorrow at the rifle's use by terrorists and criminals. More than 75 years on, Alaska descendants remain the most widely used assault rifles, updated in materials and calibers, but the gas piston principle endures. Its legacy is contradictory, a tool of liberation against colonial or invading forces, and a cheap, ubiquitous weapon for terror and civil war. It has fueled conflicts, destabilized regions, and brought suffering to millions. As Kalashnikov said, politicians choose violence. The rifle has no morality, just stamped steel and wood. Its enduring legacy reflects us, our ingenuity, our violence, our desire for protection, and our capacity for destruction, all locked together in one iconic design.